Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Pickles and Bacon Show Rewind and Podcast. This has been a long time coming. We're a little bit behind schedule due to some unforeseen circumstances in life and shit like that. But as promised, we're back on schedule, and today we are going to be discussing GI Blue.
You're frozen, girl. On my side, you're frozen. You're frozen. You're literally frozen. Like, there's nothing I can do. You're frozen. Yeah, you start, and then I'm gonna jump in.
All right. Sorry about that. We had some testicle difficulties. Anyway, so we are watching the Elvis film, GI Blues. Bacon, why don't you tell us a little bit about this movie, what you know, and then we'll check some facts on Wikipedia.
Well, first, before we get into that, there is one thing that I do want to address. As a lot of you may know, we're both on TikTok. Both me and Pickles are on TikTok, and something was just came up this week with a friend who I'm gonna give a shout out to. So to Jess Army Girl and her dog Gunner, who I have two updates on, by the way. Um, Sending them a shout out. And so basically, let me tell you the story before we get into this. So basically, what happened is her service dog Gunner was hurt. He was limping. He couldn't walk too much. So she took him to a vet. They gave him an x ray. And when they took him in for an x ray, I guess they exacerbated the condition. And he was worse off leaving than he was when he went in.
Oh no.
So it turns out that he has a herniated disc in his back, which is really swollen. So she took him to Texas A&M Veterinary School. And as of yesterday, they had him on IVs and they put him in an ICU. They did X-rays on him today. I did just get another update. He is out of surgery, so he does have a 90% recovery rate, which is a good thing. So just sending them lots of love. And also, if you follow me on TikTok, please go like the video. And if you want to donate something, I believe her PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo are still open. They're doing a raffle, or in TikTok's case, a waffle, because you can't say raffle because they have a stick up their ass about it. So excuse my language. Is what I wanted to say. But anyway, yes, let's jump now into GI Blues. So the movie basically opens with Tulsa, who's Elvis Presley, and his two friends. I think it's Cookie and I can't
Rick?
remember. Yeah, Rick. Thank you. And they're in an army tank, and they're talking randomly and having this little banter between the three of them, and then they are testing, I guess, military, which ties in basically because I said service dog, and anyway, so they're testing their army tank, and so they blow up. I think it was like a little outhouse or something, and like it was just a really funny scene. Pickles really liked that scene. Give your thoughts on that scene, Pickles.
I like that scene. It did make me chuckle because I was like, nailed it. It was funny, like watching the little banter between the guys in the beginning. Like I really didn't. I went into this movie not really expecting to like it, And I mean, I did for what the movie is. I mean, it was a whole like a wholesome Elvis film. I think it's one of the better films I've ever seen of Elvis. But let's just check a few things really quickly. Let me share my
One of the
screen.
few that he did enjoy making because everything else after that he didn't really like making.
All right, so let's talk about the GI Blues movie. Um, so this is from Wikipedia. Don't at me. This is what I found out about the movie. So GI Blues is a 1960 American. Oh, can you see my screen by the way? Can you see where I'm reading
I
from
can see it.
Wikipedia?
Well, I'm here. I can tell you how much of this is factual and how much of this is not factual. So go ahead.
Okay. So GI Blues is a 1960 American musical comedy film directed by Norman Taurog, starring Elvis and Julie Prowse. The movie is Elvis's fifth, but his first after being discharged from the U.S. Army. The film was filmed at Paramount Pictures Studios with some pre-production scenery shot on location in West Germany, where while Presley was stationed there. The movie won second place Laurel Award in the category of a top musical of 1960. Um, so as far as some of the background of the film, in Elvis Presley's army career began in 1958, which was what it wasn't this what was called Black Monday, Deke?
I think so. Yes.
And it was and by 1960 it had been 2 years since Elvis had made his last film, King Creole. Despite his despite his previous three films being mostly slammed by the critics, they warmed to King Creole and its star. Felt confident that he had a future in acting after his praise, and he was looking forward to returning to Hollywood after his time in the army. The script was written by Edmond Boulogne and Henry Garson, who had done the final revisions for Hal Wallace on Don't Give Up on the Ship. In 1958, they came up with the original treatment for an Elvis Presley movie called Christmas in Berlin, which was later known as Cafe Europa before becoming GI Blues. Got to get my drink. 8 months prior to Presley being discharged in August of 1959, producer Hal Wallace visited with him in West Germany to go over the script for GI Blues and film some on location scenes. Although some scenes were used in the final film, Presley did not film at any time during his time there. Elvis's double, Private First Class Tom Creole, was used for some of the shots. The U.S. Army supplied tanks and vehicles on maneuvers to be used during the film and appointed Public Information Officer John J. Mon as technical advisor in the film. Mon had presided over Elvis Presley's military press conferences, and Presley returned to the U.S. in March of 1960 to begin work on the film in late April. Hal Wallace originally wanted Michael Curtiz to direct, but eventually selected Norman Taurog. Dolores Hart, Joan Blackman, and Ursula Andress were all tested to play the female lead before deciding on Julie Prowse. The film received some mixed reviews from critics because obviously they're dumb. Bosley Crowther of the New York Times was non-committal, mostly remarking on Elvis's new clean-cut image. Gone is that rock and roll wriggle, that ludicrously lecherous leer, and the precocious country bumpkin image, that unruly mop of oily hair. Elvis is now a fellow you can almost stand. Variety remarked that the film restores Elvis Presley to the screen in a picture that seems to have left over from the frivolous film musicals of World War II and called it rather juvenile. Harrison's reports graded the film as fair to good. The cast performs well and the direction and production values are good. A prime attraction, aside from Julie Prowse, is the beautiful scenery in Europe in wondrous Technicolor. John Scott of Los Angeles Times wrote in a generally positive review. I wouldn't actually call Elvis sophisticated in the picture, but he has grown up, for which we give thanks, and he's learning how to act, particularly in the lighter sequences. I'm certain that most mature moviegoers will welcome the change in Presley. The film opened at Victoria Theater in New York City on November 1960, grossing $31,000 in its first week. After opening in more cities in Thanksgiving week, it reached number two on Variety's weekly national box office chart, and it finished the year as the 14th biggest box office grossing film of the year, generating $4.3 million. Despite critics being dismissive of the overall plot, the film was nominated for three awards in 1961: Best Soundtrack Album Grammy, Grammy for Best Vocal Performance Album Male, and WGA's Best Written Musical. The success of GI Blues may have been the catalyst for formulaic films that Presley was to make for much of the 60s. His next two films, Flaming Star and Wild in the Country, were more straight acting vehicles with fewer songs and more serious approach to the plot lines. However, despite Presley relishing a meteor role and enjoying a chance to act dramatically, both films were less successful at the box office than GI Blues had been, returning in the resulting in the return of the musical comedy genre Blue Hawaii as his next role. Blue Hawaii proves to even be more profitable than GI Blues. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has a 0% rating based on critics' reviews. Girl, bye.
Well,
And of
here's the
course,
thing. Here's the thing, and I didn't mean to
go
cut you
ahead.
off, but here's the thing. It seems to me like they were pissed off at this one because he was singing. Then when he actually stopped singing in like Flaming Star and stuff like that, then they got mad because he wasn't singing. So which do you want?
Exactly. All right. So now that we got all that Wikipedia stuff out of the way, we're at the opening. We blew up the outhouse. What comes next?
Oh gosh, it's been a long time since the movie. I believe that the scene after that, and you can back me up on this one. I believe that they are trying to they do some kind of a bet or something. I forgot. It's been a while since I've seen the movie.
Okay, so some of the notes that I wrote in was like Elvis in uniform. And as we discussed moments ago, the location, I noticed that some of the scenery was in Germany. I also noticed that one of the tunnels in the walkway here that we're going to discuss in a minute looked like the little town in Nosferatu in some of the clips that I've seen. Again, I've never seen Nosferatu, but I can recognize those clips directly from the movie where it like goes through. Anyways, y'all see. So the next thing is Elvis crashes the tank over a tree stump, which makes the little track of the tank come off. And I was like, really? Don't you think a military grade vehicle would be a lot stronger to sustain stuff like that? I'm just saying.
Well, I guess it's just depending on the circumstance and where you're at. Because I can guarantee you that might have just been for the movie. Because I guarantee you, I don't think that would really happen in real life. I don't know. I
For
was
sure.
never in the army. I'm just saying.
For
If
sure.
anybody watching this has been in the army, please feel free to correct us respectfully. I don't know. I've never been in the army, so.
The next thing is the sergeant arrives and he kicks in the broken trunk. There's a little bit of a dialogue here, but it was like literally, I really wasn't paying attention to it because there wasn't really any funny lines there. And then it immediately jumps to the shower scene where Elvis is Nicky and we got some Nicky hot dudes. And this part made me laugh because this was the part where the sergeant was like, "Where's my soap? Where's my soap? Throw me my soap!" And everyone throws him his soap. Like that was a really funny gag. I really laughed at that one. Which was a little unexpected. I was like, we get to see Elvis naked.
He was just showing a little bosom, y'all. Don't get crazy.
I was like, I'm just saying, like, if he takes a step forward, I'm not
Oh
going to
crap! Now I'm
complain.
frozen. Okay,
You're not frozen.
I was. It just paused.
I don't know what's going on. But anyways, uh, my notes, literally that I just wrote, were like low key. The two dudes Elvis is with are hot, and I wrote it as Loki, like Loki. So of course and then there's that. Okay, so this was the scene I was just talking about, the German house view from the tunnel where Elvis and the guys are like walking through. Looks kind of like some of the outside scenes from Nosferatu. And then of course, they're going to, I guess it's a cafe. Is this the cafe? I didn't see the sign or anything what the name of this cafe is. But of course you get the hot girl in leader hosen all over Elvis. she's like, oh, no, whatever. But I also was like, shouldn't she be speaking in German? And Elvis has the like throwaway line, "Keep your motor running here," which I was like, okay, fair. All right, and then oh, sorry, I got my notes stuck. All right, and then after this, the sergeant and the other guys, they come in and they start unpacking the cello, and um, they tell I guess they tell someone in the restaurant or the sergeant that they're gonna play there in that club that night. And then Elvis goes over to talk to the sergeant and promises half of the money that they make for the show tonight that he's going to give him, because apparently I guess he owed him like $300. And then this is like where that bet sort of is like, or where they're like sort of leading the way to the bet or whatever that's going to happen, because it's like a side plot, I guess. I wasn't really quite clear on what was exactly happening with that, but I'll let Deke discuss that. So what
So
was your whole
basically,
deal with this bet?
basically the whole plot of the movie is that the girl, I think her name is Juliet. I can't.
Juliet Prowse.
Thank you. I can't. For some
She
reason,
plays
I have.
Molly.
Yeah. Okay. For some reason, I cannot pronounce her last name to save my life. So excuse me. Excuse me. But anyway, the whole plot line is the original person from the movie that is supposed to be, I guess, courting her in such a way, what lack of a better term, um, is shipped somewhere else, so Elvis is to take his place. So the whole thing is that Elvis didn't want to do the bet, but because he said yes to something else, his friend automatically just put him in there. So
Okay, so then the boys are trying to audition for Papa. I guess he's the owner of this like restaurant or whatever. They call him Papa. He doesn't have any other name that I can recognize in
not
that
to tie into
scene.
another Elvis movie.
And then Elvis asks how much Papa's going to pay him. Papa says nothing. Elvis says I'll take half of that, or I'll take it. And then when the guys were like, Why did you say that?" The camera cuts to the sergeant, and he's like, "Because he's going to get half or whatever." And then, of course, the next scene is, music's playing, people dancing. You get the three like girls coming over to the table for I forgot who it was. By the way, I don't know how old those girls are gonna be, but man, them girls be looking like they're 30 or like shh. I don't know. I don't know what was in the water at that time, but I'm just saying. And then this is where Elvis sings GI Blues. And of course he's hamming it up the whole time. And then I guess the sergeant here picks up the redhead for the three girls that had come into the table, and then like she's like listening to Elvis and like starts swaying or whatever. And then after the song is over, Papa comes over. He's holding up his wallet. And he pays Elvis, or Elvis, by the way, is known as Tulsa in this movie, but it's just easier for me to say Elvis. So, and then I just jumped to Tulsa later, so you'll figure it out. Anyways, he pays Tulsa $20, and the sergeant takes the money, of course, because that's part of the money that he owes. The sergeant for the $300 that he had given him,
But here comes the old
and
switcheroo.
and then here comes the old switcheroo, where Elvis hustles him into opening a nightclub and makes him a partner in the club. And Elvis says that he had to invest the money, and he takes the money back from him. And I'm like, dude, you just got swindled. Like, swindled. And then after that, um, Elvis sings another song, "Doing the Best I Can," and it's sort of a slow song. It kind of reminds me of "Are You Lonesome Tonight?" In the way that it sounds to me, and everyone is slow dancing. And then this is the part where I noticed that, I guess the guys, the guy at the jukebox goes and puts in money, and then like you get a clear shot of the jukebox saying Elvis Blue Suede Shoes.
And then Ricky shouts, to turn Presley off, and then he's like, turn Tulsa off.
Like, I see what you did there, dude.
And by the way, did you notice that version of GI Blues is slower?
Yes, that version of GI Blues is. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my eyebrows. Look at, I fucked up my eyebrows. I don't know why it looks like that, but whatever. Anyways, so yeah, that version of GI Blues is a little bit slower than I remember or that I'm used to. I think it's a different version. I remember we discussed that version
When we did the album a few
when
weeks
we
ago.
talked about the album a couple weeks ago. That it was sort of different. It was a little bit slower and it was like a little bit more acoustic. I guess it's more like the Carl Perkins version. I'm not a Carl Perkins stan, you guys, so I don't know, but I am aware of who that is. And then, so the next scene is Elvis is talking to the sergeant, and he hustles him for more money, um, before they get to the train station, and then they have this like little fight scene. Sorry, there's a fight that breaks out after this song, and of course Elvis is gonna um get involved, and then they like leave when the cops come, and he breaks Papa's window. And then the next scene is, of course, what I just mentioned, Elvis talking to the sergeant. Elvis hustles him for more money at the train station, and that's where more soldiers begin to arrive, and you get this like beautiful big scene of all the tanks driving out, and this is where they set the stage for the bet. Do you remember what the terms and conditions were of the bet here? Because I didn't take it all down because I was like zoned out.
So basically, the terms and conditions of the bet, as I said earlier, was that one of the characters named Dynamite was supposed to date this girl named Lily, who we just mentioned at the beginning. And the whole point was that not only was he supposed to date her, but he was supposed to spend the night at her apartment or whatever, which is a tie into something that happens a little bit later on in the movie. So while they're betting, Elvis takes it upon himself to bet $300 on Dynamite, which doesn't exactly go to plan because when Dynamite gets shipped somewhere else, then it kind of throws a wrench into their plans, and then Elvis has to step in to do it. But it ends up turning out, I guess, kind of okay in the end. So
So the guys are outside, during training now, and, this is where the sergeant is giving his speech about, I think it was Ricky, because if I'm remembering correctly, he's gonna be shipped to Alaska because he was waiting for his girlfriend. I think her name was Marla, by the way. And it turns out that Marla is Tiger's mom. You'll hear about Tiger here in a little bit. But so I guess he's going through this whole like motion of wanting to see his girl or whatever who just like left him and didn't say a word because I wouldn't say a word either. But so cute. That's where names come from. Pickles, the Tiger's version, and Bacon Tiger's version. All right. And so
not to be
directly
confused with the Elvis song Tiger Man.
I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
I said not to be confused with the Elvis song Tiger Man because he's got a song literally where he's like, "I'm the king of the jungle. They call me the Tiger Man."
This is literally, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about GI Blues. Are you okay?
That's what I'm saying. No confusion with that song. That's what I'm saying.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about GI Blues. Anyways, so now the next thing is, I guess they're meeting this bad guy or whatever. It's not really clear who this person is that they're making the bet with. But this bad dude's eating at the table, and they make a deal with Cookie about dating Lily. And then it cuts to Elvis and the guys on the train, and Elvis is like, "No, romancing girls is a hobby, not a business." Like, who are you talking to, sir? Like, who are you talking to, sir? We know.
Let me see those.
Anyways,
And Margaret, Linda Thompson.
and
Who
then
was the
uh, of course, Elvis is holding a guitar on the train. Surprise, surprise! Like, surprise, surprise!
his
And
signature guitar? By the way, if you've seen any Elvis movie, he has his guitar in every fucking movie.
and obviously, he's got a guitar. So what happens when you have a guitar? You sing, and then the next thing is he launches into Frankfurt Special, which, like, I didn't even need to see the movie to know that that song was about a train or them being on the train. Like, go figure, right? Sorry, I'm just cynical sometimes. And of course, Elvis is hamming it up, making faces at the girl. This like one random girl who's standing behind the like door, and like she's a redhead and she's like smiling. Like, who are all of these people, by the way? I don't know. We weren't introduced.
And question: how did those civilian girls get on the train with all those army soldiers?
I have no idea how that works. I'm not part of the military. I'm not pretending to understand. Anyways, now the train arrives at the station, and Elvis is sitting in the back of the car, and you have this scene cracked me up because they're like on the back of that truck, and they're waving, and that guy starts waving, and like you can tell this is like on a stage because like the screen, it's like so obvious that it's like a screen behind them, and it has like all the fake cars and everything like that, and I'm like, dude, seriously? Who I was like, who did the CGI? Like fucking Dobby or something? All right, and then I guess they get back to their barracks. I wasn't really sure what this place was where they were, where that guy starts spraying Elvis with the cologne, and Elvis and the guys, they're kind of like just sitting around, making plans to go to the club, and then they go to the club. Now this club is called the Europa. Is that
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they want to see the dancer Lily, and I guess there's like a little cardboard cutout or something that was like in the on display, and they started spinning it around. And this is where we meet Juliet Prowse, who's the pretty redhead who's the star of this film. Who let me just say something. Her face is so uniquely different. Like, I don't think I've ever seen another actress that looks like her. The closest maybe Liv Tyler, but I've never seen anyone look like her before or after. And I also noticed in the scene while Juliet was dancing that they have this like pink light that kind of shines on her where she's like doing her little dance. But she's wearing this like silvery dress that has like all these slits in it, and she like makes very good use of the slits and in these dresses, and like lifts it up at one point and is holding like parts of the dress in her hand. It's really awesome. You guys have to see it, by the way. And of course, you got the guys watching her, and I didn't see what did that man do to her that she poured the water on him.
He pulled. Okay, so he grabbed one of the slits from the dress and was pulling her close.
Oh, okay.
If
And
that
then
makes sense.
I don't know what I was doing. I think I looked away for like a second, and then I saw her
Because
pour
I
the
think,
water on him.
yeah, I was gonna say, was it beer or was it water?
I think it was beer or water. I can't remember, but I know that she threw the drink at him, and then she went to the bar, and that's when the guys goad Tulsa to go sit at the bar with Lily. She's smoking a cigarette, obviously, because smoke him if you got him, right? And then of course, as Elvis goes and sits next to her, he gets a request to sing.
Okay,
Elvis,
Parker, we get it. Stop making your
like
star sing.
we know you can sing, but anyways, this is where I think he sings "Don't Stop." I had to ask Deke what the song was because I couldn't remember what the
No, wait,
um.
no, it's not this one, and it's not that song. You're thinking about Michael Jackson. Way different person. The song that he sings here is
Don't
um
stop shopping around. It's "Don't Stop
no,
Shopping Around."
it's shopping around. Don't
Shopping
stop.
around.
It's a Michael Jackson song. We're not talking about
No,
him.
don't stop. Don't stop. No, something else that he sang, but it was what you said.
It's called shopping around. That's what it's called. He's like, I'm
I
gonna
know.
stop shopping around.
Yes, I read it wrong. My bad. And then the next thing is like I guess Cookie. I think that's this guy. That's what they were calling these guys. Like they didn't have any like real names like Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. So I have no idea who we were talking about. But I guess they call him Cookie in the movie. He sits next to Lily, and they're like watching Tulsa sing. And then Lily leaves the nightclub. She's not impressed, and she tells the manager at one point to lie for her because I guess he wants her to meet like the big wigs, and she's not having it. And then she's like, "Oh, tell him I'm meeting American soldiers." And then she goes and sits down with Tulsa and Cookie and all the guys at the table, and they order two beers, and they're like in this like little the beers are like on each side of the table, and like I would call it like a flute, but it's like glasses or whatever. They didn't even look chilled, by the way. But at this time, I guess she's changed her clothes, and I noted that she was wearing a very pretty colored lilac dress. That stood out to me because purple is one of my favorite colors. And of course, Elvis sings at the cafe again to Lily. I think the name of the song was "Can't You See Tonight Is All Right for Love." I don't remember, but I think it was one
Tonight's
of
so
the
right for
slow.
love. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that one. And then after that, there was some dialogue here that I wasn't really paying attention to. And then Tulsa and Lily like leave and they go on a nice walk back to I guess her apartment with the guys following her, and he has the box with strudel in it. Which high key, like now I want some strudel because my fat ass, right? Like, don't see. This is why I can't be an actress because, like, don't put food in front of me because I'm gonna eat it. Like, or don't put something in front of me without the context of you can't eat it because I'm gonna eat it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, don't. All right. The next part is, um, Elvis busts into. I guess they were, going to that girl's apartment, and I guess they heard somebody. Did they hear the other guy in the apartment with the roommate, and he busts through the door? Tells to like bust through the door or something. Again, I wasn't really sure what was happening here. I have a really short attention span, you guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, so basically, the dark-haired girl that was, I guess she was like the waitress or
Tina.
something at the bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was also a beautiful actress, by the way. She, uh, they didn't know she was Lily's roommate in the movie. So when Tulsa and Lily get back to the apartment, he sees. I think was it Rick or was it Cookie? I think it was Cookie that he sees there, and
Mm.
he's having a moment with this girl, and like Tulsa doesn't realize that Lily and this girl are roommates.
Yeah. So then Elvis and the crew leave. I guess Tulsa chased Cookie out of the apartment and he left too because I guess he was all up in his feels about what they were doing or whatever. Like that part wasn't quite clear to me. And I was like, look, I'm not going back. We don't have that much time right now. And then, of course, it cuts back to Tulsa and the sergeant, um, back on I guess, the base because Elvis is wearing the dark green costume, and he was under the tank. And he had come out. The sergeant has come out of I guess he was coming out of one of the barracks or something because he tripped on Elvis. And Elvis helps him up, and they start discussing the nightclub. And Tulsa asks if they can have a pass to leave for the day, so they can go to an audition or something for publicity for the nightclub that apparently they want to open. Which I'm not sure if that was the nightclub at the end, but we can discuss after that. And then, right as they walk out of this scene, or as he walks out of the barracks, Lily picks Tulsa up, and that cute little car that had the red interior. Y'all, they didn't get too close up of the front of the car, so I could see what the make and model is of the vehicle. But if you know, you can comment what type of car it was because it was incredibly beautiful. And then the next part was I thought interesting because some of the side subplots of the movie is Tulsa's friend Rick. He's looking for his, I guess, his girlfriend or whoever she was, Marla, and he goes to the landlady's house, and the landlady bold-faced lies to him and says she has no idea where this girl left you. And then when Rick leaves, she literally goes to the apartment next door and tells Marla that he was looking for her again. And that's where they reveal the MVP, Baby Tiger. I said what I said. Baby Tiger. Of course, the baby's name is not Tiger, but that's what Lily calls him, so that's why we're gonna call him Tiger. And of course, he's the cutest baby I've ever seen. He was so chunky too, right?
Okay, so in that particular type of car, was a 1956 Mercedes-Benz 190 SL Roadster.
Ooh. Yes. Thank you for the fact checking. That's Bacon Tiger's version over there. So the next part is Lily and Tulsa get on this like boat yacht type of thing. Something about the Dusseldorfer. I think that was the name of the boat. There was something in front of it. I couldn't quite make out what it was. And then in this scene, they're like reading the um inscriptions on the table where it's like Don Lieber, Maria, and that's where Lily tells Tulsa that Lieber means love, which can you fact check that for me, by the way? Because like I think she was bullshitting him, but like at the same time that could like high key be true. So after that, um, they get off this boat and Lily and Tulsa are bombarded by kids, and end up at a puppet show and
No, that is
ultimately my
correct.
favorite part.
That is correct because just like the Beatles song of "She Loves You" in German, it's translated to "She liebt dich." So
Okay, whatever. I was like,
that is
okay.
correct.
So they're at the puppet show and these puppets are like acting goofy and there's like a little girl puppet and there's like a little boy, not like a little boy puppet, but like a man puppet and a female puppet, and they're like those little wooden puppets. And Elvis and Lily, or Tulsa and Lily, are like watching this puppet show, and the old man who's on the side controlling the music plays this record, which is some of the words that are later in the music. I wonder, is that an actual song that he was playing that they incorporated some of the words to for Wooden
You didn't
Heart?
catch it, did you? You didn't catch it, did you? The record that the old man's playing is the
Yeah.
instrumental of Wooden Heart.
No, I know it's the instrumental, but I'm asking if before Elvis sang Wooden Heart, when he's singing the German parts, is that what? No, I'm asking if that record exists a part of the Elvis singing Wooden Heart, where it's
Okay,
like stay the like German part where it was like uh uh it was the like record, the music that was playing that would become Elvis singing Wooden Heart. I'm
right.
asking if that was a song before Elvis put it in Wooden Heart.
I I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Anyways, so this old man is playing what would become Wooden Heart, and it's the German songs, and then the puppets start acting up and acting goofy, and then the record scratches and breaks, and Tulsa goes over to the old man and asks him if he could play the song on the squeeze box, and he starts singing Wooden Heart. And can I just say, Elvis is so charismatic, the female puppet got pregnant. I'm just saying, I don't know how that happened. I was like, dude, she was kissing him. She was all up on him. I'm like, I'm pretty sure she would have me too'd him if that was now. But I'm just saying, like, dang, I was like, the female puppet too? Female puppet too. I mean, like, goals. And then after that, I guess I'm not really sure exactly what was happening, if this was like a date or something, because after that, after like Wooden Heart, Tulsa and Lily get on this like ski lift thing, and Elvis sings "Pocket Full of Rainbows," which actually seeing him sing that song in the movie now, I really like that song because I like what Lily was doing in the background when she's like rainbows. But that was just me.
And I'm gonna say something right now, and this is gonna piss a lot of people off. I think for that song, I do believe Elvis would have said yes that he supports LGBT Q because of that song. So
Anyways, and then after this, I guess Lily and Tulsa go back to her apartment, and he breaks off their date, and he breaks up with Lily, and he tells Tulsa, then goes back to the guys and calls off the bet because he's all up in his feels. and the mood just isn't right. So then some stuff happens, and Lily and then Cookie comes into the room where Lily is at the Europa because she's getting ready for her show. And may I add, she's wearing this fabulous black cape that has this amazing collar that goes, girl, like you could have done that whole show wearing that, and I would have been like, yes, slay. And then immediately it goes in. After her and Cookie are talking, they share a glass of champagne, and then she goes on and she does this big dramatic reveal when she rips off her cape and is in that little sparkly sequin leotard. And the instrumental, is that the instrumental of GI Blues that's playing where she's dancing?
I think so.
I
Yes.
noticed it was one of the songs in the movie, but I couldn't pinpoint which one it was. Flash mob. Sorry, I gotta shut off the flashlight on my phone. Alright, so after that, so at that point where they're at the where Lily is dancing, I think Tulsa was in that scene, and he got some sort of telegraph saying that it didn't say what he was going or whatever, but he goes to that girl Marla's house, and that's where he meets his friend Rick, and who had said that he thought that he was going to be shipped off to Alaska or something, and that, well, that's what Tulsa says. But then Rick says, "No, I found my girl Marla. We're gonna go be married, and they need a sitter." Tulsa's like, "A sitter," and this is where we get my dude and the MVP again, Baby Tiger. And Baby Tiger's just so cute. He's in his little yellow onesie. He's giving baby. He's giving crying. He's giving I'm the cutest thing in the scene. I don't care if you are Elvis. And again, he's the goat. I'm just saying,
Oh,
like
that baby
literally,
was like, "Oh, you Elvis? Watch this. I'm gonna upstage you."
exactly. And then they leave Tulsa alone with the baby, and the hi Vecno. And then Marla, the baby's mom, says, there's some liverwurst in the fridge next to the baby's bottle. And of course, I was like, of course they had to mention that fridge because, like, that comes into play here in a moment. So the baby starts to cry, and Elvis starts making faces at him in the baby's room, and I'm like, pick Baby Tiger up, like, and I'm sitting to myself thinking like, Baby Tiger, do 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 do, Baby Tiger, do Baby Tiger, and then um so Tulsa takes Baby Tiger into the kitchen and he puts him in this wooden high chair, and then they fight over a sandwich, and then literally goes literally wait, let me rephrase that because I said it wrong. Tulsa and Baby Tiger fight over a sandwich. The best part of the movie. Baby, he was ready to throw hands with my dude, Baby Tiger, over a sandwich. And I'm like,
He had a death grip on that damn thing too.
and Baby Tiger is wailing like he's giving it his all. He's like, "Oh, you want crying? I'm gonna give you crying." And then Tulsa goes and shoves open the refrigerator, and of course, the milk in the glass bottle falls and breaks. And helpless dude, I don't know where the milk is. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get the glass of milk. I don't know, whatever. Has this moment, so he like calls Lily to ask him to help him with the baby, and of course she's like, okay, fine, help him with the baby because like, see, that couldn't be me because I'm like, whose baby's that? I would have been like, oh, with the questions and been like, whose baby's that? You expect me to raise somebody else's kid? But it's Baby Tiger, so. And then, so he tells her that he's going to take Baby Tiger to meet her at their apartment in like 20 minutes because obviously you can get anywhere in the city in 20 minutes with her little roadster, by the way. And the guys are outside apartment, in some sort of cafe watching them or whatever. I couldn't see where they were, but like
Okay, right there on that one, I have a
weird.
question. Okay, I have a question. So if he said, okay, so the way that they're making it look in the movie, okay, the way that they're making it look in the movie, it's like the cafe that she works at is across the street from her apartment. But Elvis Tulsa says that he's going to meet her there at in 20 minutes at her apartment. So is he 20 minutes away or the cafe is 20 minutes away? Because I'm a little confused on that.
Is the apartment that he's at 20 minutes away, or is Lily's apartment 20 minutes away? But remember, he got into a cab with Baby Tiger in a basket.
Yeah, no, okay,
So
okay,
like,
no, because okay, because that part doesn't make no sense to me. Because if you remember the first time when he goes to her apartment, right? They're
yeah.
at the same cafe. Like literally, she leaves. They walk out because they're gonna go get strudel, and they walk back, and they pass that cafe, and then they go into her apartment. So here's my question: is the cafe across from her apartment, or that's a different cafe?
I think it's different cafe. Anyways, then we see Baby Tiger is chilling on the love seat. He's got all the blankie. He's being a complete ham. He doesn't have to do anything. He just gets to chillax. He doesn't have to cry. He doesn't have the line, but basically he's like the main character right there. And of course, Elvis has to sing a lullaby. He sings Big Boots. That was on the soundtrack. Obviously, having never seen the movie before, I already knew by the words in the song that he was singing to a baby, but I did know that there was a baby already in this movie. So, anyways, there's that.
Most of what she knew about this movie was because of me, though. By the way,
And then and then after that, we see that um Tulsa wakes the baby up so that he doesn't have to leave Lily's house, which like honestly, like let my man sleep, okay? Baby Tiger's got he just went through a lot, okay? Like in this like little 20 minutes, like you dropped his bottle, you wrestled him for a sandwich, his whole life is ruined, okay? His whole life is wrecked. Let my man sleep. I'm just saying. And then, so now the movie's winding down, and the next scene is Lily, as Lily lets uh, Tulsa leave, she wraps up the bottle in a paper bag, which, okay, whatever. And everyone thinks that they had like a night or whatever. They didn't see Baby Tiger in the basket because, like, goals. Man, if I could be traveling around in a basket, I would travel around in a basket. I'm just saying. Like the
she's small enough
dream,
to fit in one. Say it.
living the dream. And I guess now, I think Lily said something about her performing at one of the USO shows or something, and that's where she sees Cookie and the other guys doling out the money for the stupid bet that they were on. And then we cut to the scene where she's at the USO, Lily's at the USO, and she just danced. And she finds out about the bet because the sergeant comes comes to her and says that they won the bet, and Lily's like, "What bet? I don't know what you're talking about." And he's like, "Yeah, we all just got paid or whatever," but like the sergeant was being really messy there, which I didn't understand, but okay, whatever. And then so Lily and Tulsa have a little moment here where she was like, "Oh, so I was just a bit." Like she let him off easy, and like she walked away from him. And then again, here's my dude, Baby Tiger, just
Saving
chilling
the
in his
day.
crib, saving the day, coming through to be Elvis's wingman because like Elvis needs saving. And Lily's like, "Oh, that is you." She has a little moment with Tiger, and that's where she meets Tina. Tina tells her that was her baby, and that um that was really her baby or whatever. And then the captain has summoned Tulsa to his office, and then comes to Lily and tells her about the bet and what had happened. And Lily's holding my man, Baby Tiger, and says that Tulsa and her were babysitting, and that was the only thing that had happened. She hands Tiger over to Tulsa, who, mind you, baby Tiger's like, "What the fuck? Again with this guy? Like, really?" He's, baby Tiger's face is like, "This man wrestled me first. He's not. He's alone with this man." Okay.
And to think,
He's
8 years later, he became a dad on the comeback when he did the comeback special.
Baby Tiger does not want to be left alone with this man who wrestled him for a sandwich. Okay, does
He's like, wait till
not.
I'm 18. Wait till I'm 18. I'm gonna get you. Don't come outside. I'm gonna
He
bust
was
you in
like,
your.
"Come outside, Tulsa."
He's like, I'm gonna bust you upside your head with
Anyways,
a loaf of bread.
and then Lily and Tulsa have a minute where they talk about getting hitched or whatever, because like, I guess in all these movies you like meet a dude like one day, like on Monday, and like by Friday you guys are getting married, because like I guess that's what they did in the 60s. I don't know, but like whatever. And then the movie just cuts to Lily, Tina, and that other girl, and they sort of like peek around the corner, and Elvis starts singing "Did You Ever?" Of course, to like, end things, and it's like the end. And then all the couples kiss, and Elvis gets the last word. He's like, "Well, did ya?" And then that's it. And then the credits roll up. And I'm like, I could just watch this whole movie with Baby Tiger and be happy. All right, so that is GI Blues in the nutshell. So, Mr. Deacon, Bacon, Tiger's version. What do you think about this movie?
I love it. You know, it's one of my favorite. It's my second favorite Elvis movie. I mean, if y'all know me, y'all know my first favorite Elvis movie, which I took the name from, which is Loving You.
I liked it. Um, to be honest, would I watch it again? Probably not. If it came on, or if he was watching it in the other room, I might like stop in and take a peek of it, only for my man Tiger. But that's pretty much it. So now it's time to talk about our favorite things. Let me open my notes. So did this movie really have a villain?
Yes and no.
All right,
I will say
thoughts.
I will say yes, in the fact of kind of the sergeant almost messes up him and Lily at the end. So in that context, yes, but at the same time, no. Like there was no actual major villain. Like nobody was actually the villain. Like it was just like that little scene that kind of made him come off as the villain. So like, yeah.
I feel like that blonde guy that they had originally started the bet was supposed to be a villain, but we didn't actually like see any villainous nature or anything from him apart from him eating. Um, that
And
was the
being a
villain in this.
smartass. That's it.
Yeah, and being the story. But anyways, moving right along. Did you notice any changes in the character from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie?
Kind of. Like I would say that in the beginning of the movie his ego is bigger than at the end of the movie, because I feel like at
Yeah.
the end of the movie like he was cut down a few pegs with his ego. So
I mean, I don't feel like I noticed a lot of changes from the beginning to the end, because I feel like Elvis really made it clear that he wasn't like a betting guy, that his hobby wasn't just dating girls, to be in the business. Like when he was really in love, he was really in love, which I don't know, I felt sincere about that, but that was just me. That was just me. But anyways, does this storyline of GI Blues match a real life story? And do you know what real life story that this actually matches?
to be honest with you, I can't think of one offhand. So I'm gonna
I
say no
wouldn't.
because
So I wouldn't say it like mimics a real life story that we could actually pinpoint. Um, but I would say that it does mimic real life, as people, Americans meeting their spouses in Germany, or whatever the case was, or meeting their partner in the military. So it does, on that level, mimic real life. But other than that, no. Next thing is, were there any big guest stars in this movie?
Only the sergeant, because if you know anything about the guy that plays the sergeant, he appeared in almost every show, including the Monkeys.
Yeah, I think that I can't. Let me see what that guy's name was. By the way, hold on, just a second. Let me see who that was. I want to know who played that part. Um, let's see. That was Arch Johnson who plays the sergeant, I believe.
Hmm.
Um, he was in a lot of shows like the Monkeys that I know of. Um, but as far as guest stars, no, there wasn't any really big guest stars in the show. And of course, my favorite part is who was the GOAT or the MVP of this movie. And I've
Tiger.
already made it clear it is my man, little dude Tiger, baby Tiger. He was the MVP. He was the GOAT. He was the socks. He was everything. Like he was giving main character. He was giving drama. He was giving fabulous costumes. He was working that cry. I'm just saying he was given all of it. And lastly, if you can be someone in this movie, or you could or you could have been a part of this movie, who would you be? And tell me what the story would be there.
Tiger, because he had the best lines. And he fought
Same,
Elvis for a sandwich. So for a sandwich.
same,
So
same.
the kid
Yep,
the kid's
I
going
agree.
places. The kid's going places. He was fighting over food, so he's going places.
hmm I agree. I would totally be Tiger. I would be like, yes, I'm gonna have like 10 minutes in this movie, but this is my time to shine, and I would have wrestled the hell out of that sandwich. And I also would have been given great costumes, the little yellow onesie, the little romper that he was wearing at the end. My dude Tiger was the star of this movie. Sorry, Elvis. I know that wanted to be your moment, but Tiger was the man. All right. So, in closing, Biquan, what do you have to say to close us out from this movie?
Uh, it's still one of my all-time favorite Elvis movies. Like, I mean, there's so many. Like, I mean, I would say like the later ones, other than like Change of Habit, I don't really. Other than Change of Habit and Charo, I like those two, but everything else before that, like, really isn't my cup of coffee. But I love GI Blues. I love Loving You. I love this one. This one's one of my all-time favorites.
All right, that's cool. All right, you guys, remember to like and share on our page. We are the Pickles and Bacon Show Rewind and Podcast, where we review and discuss some of our favorite movies, music, books, and TV. We have a special guest coming on here today from TikTok. You'll get to meet her, and we'll be discussing the movie Mildred Pierce. And then we have 2 episodes coming up. I don't know if we're gonna load them today. If not, we'll load them tomorrow because I'm exhausted and I have to go to work tonight.
Yeah, I'm supposed to
Um,
be doing DoorDash. I should have done it already, but I've been waiting for this. So
yeah. So, and then we're gonna be doing that. So, we're gonna go, and I will see you guys later. Bye.